Hello, everyone. It is I, the Reverend Godfather, the main host and frontman for the Lone Coat Mafia podcast, the internet's most hated mafia-themed geek podcast. And earlier this year, we managed to record a presentation at our local library on a revolutionary animator who dealt with claymation. That person is Vinton, and the person who did the presentation is a friend of the show, Don Ramirez, and he gave a wonderful presentation, which we'll show here. And I must say, we did our best. I should say, I did our the best learning to film such a thing. So it's not going to be the best. We will improve. I promise you that. But we want to share what he said and his presentation. Now, this presentation will not be in its entirety because, again, he showed 3 of Will's films. Now, these films were on celluloid, which is this format right here. But because we filmed these videos, just in case we were hit by a copyright claim, even though it would be considered fair use under educational purposes, we did not include any of that footage, again, just in case. So, either way, here is Don Ramirez's presentation on stop animation and Will Vinton. Thank you.
Process of analog film actually worked. Now, on one side, you're going to see the holes. Those holes are called sprocket holes. That's how it runs through your projector. There's wheels inside of both the cameras and the projectors that would guide the film through both your movie camera as well as your projectors. As you can clearly see, the film you can see through it. Film was all about light, like photography. And as an artist and as a filmmaker, this was what I learned on, and this is what my passion was. 20th century film. I didn't really see all the digital. I better start my camera too, because I'm trying to record this. Forgive me.
Aren't the sprockets too to keep it on speed?
Keep it on speed, right?
Not just to guide it.
To keep it going through the projector, there's 24 frames in 1 second of movie film. The 24 frames was adopted by Hollywood and, of course, by the film industry. 18 frames a second will suffice. A lot of filmmakers, including myself, would shoot at 18 frames because that would make the film last a little bit longer. But it takes 24 frames through your projector to create 1 second of film. Same with what we're going to watch. In this program with stop motion animation, it's done individual frame, one single frame at a time. Make a small move, take a picture, small move, take a picture, small move, take a picture. I've been fortunate enough to know. Come on, have a seat, you guys. And we're just talking.
Is this the soundtrack on the side of it?
That is the soundtrack. There were 2 different types of soundtracks that were widely used. This one is called optical, which you see. And a lot of times they used magnetic cassette tape. Like Super 8 had a sound strip that would run the side of it.
Now, when you're looking at this right now, the soundtrack's on the right. Is that the way it goes through the projector?
Let me think. Your sprocket hole would go to your right. Your sound came on the inside. And the sound system would be put, your tracks that are reading it are on this side, on the inside of the film. So, and your film would go through your projector. I think it's like a 6 frames. It's off by 6 frames. Your image and your sound were never quite perfectly synced up because your gate would be here and the sound reader is slightly different on the projectors. The films that we're looking at today are 16 millimeter film prints from the Enoch Pratt Library in Baltimore. I think it's amazing that this film library is still there. 60mm films are really rare. I discovered the Pratt Library living in Baltimore in 1993. Started teaching film in 1995 in Frederick, Maryland. I've taught at Shepherd University, and I'm into a fairly obscure genre of filmmaking called underground film or avant-garde American film.
Feel free to take
But
a
it's
seat.
essentially people who would take home movie equipment, make works of art with it. Short, no budget, you know. I'm trying to think of those. These films, I have 3 films that we're going to look at. The first one is Will Vinton, the animator who did California Raisins. Most people are very familiar with Will Vinton. The bumper film is by the brothers Quay. 2 amazing identical twin, I think they're English, animators that worked as one. They were in great popularity in the 80s. If you're fans of Tim Burton, most people know who Tim Burton is. Nightmare Before Christmas. You'll be able to see the influences of the brother Quays on people like Tim Burton. Very unusual but fun and beautiful aesthetic. So I brought some cameras. If anyone after the program wants to ask about Super 8 cameras, I have plenty of cameras. And this is the second program I've done in Martinsburg. Come on in, you guys. Come on in. And, oh, awesome. Here, I want to, these are old movies. And I was just giving everyone a little rundown on how analog film or old film worked. I am a filmmaker. At one point, I'm fairly accomplished. I've taught at Shepherd University, and I made a film that came out in 2007, all done locally, called Trailer Trash, a film journal. For 2 solid years, my film did incredibly well on the festival circuit. I've won Best Documentary at the Rosebud Film Festival in Washington, D.C. in 2007. And as a West Virginia native, I gotta say that's one of my proudest accomplishments. It is our nation's oldest running film festival. And to be part of that history and to have won an award there is amazing. My film has screened at Anthology Film Archives in New York City in 2008, which is, again, as a West Virginia, was one of the most important things for me, to make a piece of art and for it to be a film that of its own strength made it all the way to New York City. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first film, and then I'll take a few minutes. I'm going to have to thread the next one and talk a little bit after Brothers Quay, and then I'll show you the last one, which is Rip Family. So enjoy, you guys. And thanks for coming out. We want to do this more often. The one thing, and forgive me, I'm not rusty at doing this, so bear with me. I'm an eccentric artist that comes out of retirement every now and then. As
You can do this, Don.
As Miss Shoebridge can testify, she's been to several of my programs and she knows that they're serious. But this program, and hopefully future programs, I stress that you would have to go to the Smithsonian, to the National Gallery of Art, or to the BMA, Baltimore Museum of Art, to see a program equivalent to what I put on. So this one is for fun, and I think all you guys are going to enjoy it. So I'm going to kill the lights, and we're going to do the great incognito.
And educational purposes.
I'm going to rewind these at the end of the program. One quick second to switch these out. Back part is called a take-up reel. Wrangled a couple of contractors into paying for the projector, so I haven't had one of these working guys in many years, so I was very happy to get this one. So I sent a couple of jobs to a contractor friend of mine to get this one, and Sarah, Miss Shoebridge, came to the first 60, and that's where I met Mr. Scott Edelman. At my first, for my 50th birthday, I had to run all the way to Baltimore and borrow a 16 millimeter projector to make that program work. So that was a little stressful, but this one's a nice projector. All right, the next one we're gonna do is the Brothers Quay. Scott, are you familiar with the Brothers Quay?
The film or the people?
The two
In London,
yeah.
I guess I learned about them from Monty Python originally.
Simpson, or not Simpsons, MTV. I remember seeing bumpers that they would do on MTV, and then I saw more of their work. I also saw the feature that they did. There's not too much animation in that one. All right. And this one isn't a self-threader either, which I'm used to having a self-threader. So just bear with me.
You got this.
Let this stay down a little bit. Both of them. The Brothers Quay, Sarah, you have a DVD, a collection of their work upstairs if anyone's interested in exploring the Brothers Quay a little bit further. They're also heavily influenced by Jan Spankmeyer. Is that how you say his name, Scott?
I think so.
Yeah, he's a pretty amazing animator as well. Scott is a fan of obscure cinema too. I got one more for everybody. Just give me a second and I'll load it up. And that's Rip Van Winkle.
Can you define obscure cinema?
How many times has anyone else ever seen a Brothers Quay film?
No.
You have? So that's one. I would say one out of the group is fairly obscure. I don't know how to. Art cinema is the term I've always liked. Underground cinema. All right. Now this one, I took a look at it earlier today. The color's a little faded on it. And when you have the film having a hard time go through the projector, you have busted sprocket holes because these films are really old and have been accessible to the public forever. So they've gotten a little abused over time.
I guess what I was asking is, do they follow a theme of some sort or what?
I have a difficult time trying to explain other artists. With the Brothers Quay, it's just a unique aesthetic that I think a lot of people weren't familiar with. And it's quite revolutionary in film and arts. And the Brothers Quay are definitely some of the biggest names in independent cinema production. I'm not sure what they're doing now, but when I was coming of age as a filmmaker, their stuff was really big. And like I said, we have a disc of it upstairs.
What year was that last film made?
1984. Brothers Quay, I think Street of Crocodiles is 84, if I'm not mistaken.
It just seemed older, that's all.
Yeah, it definitely has that antique aesthetic to it. And I think that's very much something that they go for.
Also seemingly had almost a, I wouldn't say a horror vibe to it, but a
Definitely
thriller
got,
villain.
Tim Burton is a big Brothers Quay fan. All right, let's do this last one. We'll talk afterwards, I'll answer any questions. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let this one run through. Okay. I hope everyone enjoyed the program. That's the first time I've ever seen the Rip Van Winkle one. I used to show the Great Cognito and Closed Mondays in some of my filmmaking workshops. I'd very much like to do this again. One of the things Sarah and I have talked about is doing a Saturday evening program. So one of the figures that we would like to do a program on, his name is Stan Vanderbeek. He is the founder of the UMBC film program. But in history, he is the first filmmaker who ever made a film with a computer while working with NASA. So with the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing, I think it would be really nice to do a retrospective of Vanderbeek's work here. We would include a couple of films from some of his contemporaries from the 60s. And I'm going to invite a Baltimore filmmaker, Julia Nicole, to be part of that program. And she would also show some of her student films, some of her 60 millimeter films. So hopefully we'll do that in March. I hope everyone enjoyed the program. Any questions, anything about film that I can answer, please feel free. Did you guys like that? You come again? Yeah. You know who the Brothers Quay are, so that's good. That's good. Anything? Okay, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
You like it, Scott? I do all right. You're in a good program. All right, I'm going to rewind film.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. If you really like Don's presentation, smash that like button down below. And while you're here, click that subscribe button and click that notification button to be notified when we post up another video or one of our many podcasts to our YouTube channel. If you're watching via Facebook, please click that follow button or that like button up there and click the like button down below as well. So that way both Facebook, YouTube, and we know that you watched our video. Now again, stick around for more videos on this channel or our Facebook page because we have a lot of things planned this year, and we want all of you to stick around and see what we're up to and what we're doing. And if you want to check out our podcasts, the links will be provided down below. Or stick around to our YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button and that notification button to be notified when our podcasts get uploaded to YouTube. But if you prefer an audio version of our podcast to listen to while going to work, exercising, or more, the links will be down in the description below. Thank you, and have a good evening.